Hello, welcome. We've got a video here of a YouTube prankster getting pranked in the form of a bullet. So self-defense goes to a whole nother level. This is of course in America, and we'll have a little react to it. Video shows man shoot YouTuber in Dulles town center.
I want to warn you that viewers might find this video disturbing.
Yep, if you find this sort of thing disturbing, look away now. So outside of Popeyes, we've got our gentleman here who is currently being harangued by said YouTuber in the jeans and the baseball hat that looks like it's the wrong way round. So you know this is an upstanding gentleman. And there's a smaller fella sort of tagging behind.
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
What's that mean?
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
No.
Look at the body language there. He's so aggressive, this YouTuber. It seems like he's holding a mobile phone that, from what I could hear, says, "I'm thinking about my twinkle." Did you guys hear anything different? That's what I kind of heard from it. And the prank is to hold this phone up to a stranger that you don't know and just stare at them whilst this mobile phone does that. Like, how on earth do people even think of doing this, let alone going ahead and doing it? Like, oh yeah, that would be hilarious. And don't forget, this is being recorded not by this guy, not by this guy, not by this guy, but by the person that is from this angle looking upon them. So there's a third person involved here.
Quit thinking about my
Get
twinkle.
out of my business like half second. Stop.
So he's already told him to stop. And this is like the third time now this guy is looking at it, making sure that it's still working, and is about to shove it in this guy's face again. He's pushed him away, not like physically pushed him away, just the mobile phone that is literally being shoved in his face. This is a taller gentleman. I shouldn't really say gentleman, let's face it. So he's got a threatening pose, and you got this deadbeat friend who's just staring at him with his like mouth open. Like, oh, this is so funny.
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
Stop.
He clearly says stop. What is the purpose here of just following someone with a mobile phone that keeps repeating the same message? There's nothing funny about this. It's not even a prank. Like, pranks should have died about 15 fecking years ago. This stuff's been on YouTube for years now, decades, where it hasn't been funny. And they keep doing it because it's so easy to do this stuff. And unfortunately, they somehow managed to find an audience of dimwits that also enjoy it. I guess it's because the dimwits aren't involved and they can just watch someone else suffer, so they can enjoy someone else suffering. That's what they get out of it. They just need someone who's bold enough or dumb enough to be passive aggressive, not even passive aggressive, like actually aggressive, and just do dumb stuff in front of other people so they can, oh, I don't know. It's so painful to watch this sort of stuff. Damn! That gun just comes right out. It kind of looks like it's a warning shot because he didn't like point at his head or the upper chest. It was like almost aimed downwards. It's like one of those kind of old school shoot from the hips. But that is extreme. Yeah, Americans are wild. And the guy just realizes he got shot. And look at this guy. He kind of just looked like he's reverted to some sort of default pose now. He's not even like looking shocked. I know the resolution is not the best, but his mouth's not wide open. It doesn't look like his eyes are wide open. He just kind of looks neutral, practically. He looks around sort of slowly, back at the guy, and then just probably walks off. But look at this guy. Which one's the bigger piece of shit? The one that's actually doing this? Or the one that's just kind of following around, hurdy-durd, just this sort of body language from these two is already like up in this guy's face. You're more shocked that the people in the background aren't even running away, just staring. Yeah, they probably weren't even sure what happened. It's America though, maybe they're used to gunshots going off all the time.
20 seconds. It was 20 seconds from the moment Cook approached Coley before Coley pulled a gun and shot him. Coley's defense attorneys argued self-defense, and since...
Oh, look at that. He's laying on the ground, right? Yeah, he knows. If there's like an American police officer, a SWAT officer, or guard that has like a semi-automatic rifle pointed at you, you lay on the ground. You do not fuck around at that point. It's game over.
Since this happened, the social media world has really gotten behind Coley, saying Cook was harassing him, a complete stranger. Now, you heard Coley...
Now, that's where I stand. Should the guy have shot him? Obviously, no. I'm from England. We don't really have guns here. And that's probably how it should be. Do I think guns are cool? Yes. Do I think people should have guns? Probably not. Because a lot of people are fucking idiots. If people were responsible and smart with guns, then yeah, you could probably have a gun. But are people smart and responsible with guns? Generally speaking, probably not. Because a lot of statistics that come from America, where they have guns aplenty, tend to have a lot of things go wrong involving people with guns. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? But there you go. Should he have got shot, this YouTuber? No, that's ridiculous. I would never say he should have got shot. But am I of the mind that, fuck this guy? Yes. Because I'm the type of person that would never even be in the position where I would be pushing someone to put themselves in a position where they would have to then shoot me back. Why would you even be doing that? Like, you've already clearly shown yourself to be an arsehole and a waste of space. Now, he shouldn't die for it or anything. Certainly not. And he didn't die, just so you know. But why would you do this? Like, people like this do deserve a heavy punishment. You fuck around and you find out. It's as simple as that.
He told Cook to stop a few times, but then pulled that gun and shot one round, injuring the YouTuber. Coley was found not guilty of aggravated malicious wounding and guilty of shooting into an occupied dwelling because this...
Yeah. I mean, this is inside of, like, a public space. And I'm pretty sure in America, like, you do stuff like that and you could go to jail big time. But it's so funny, the results on this, because everyone gets behind this guy. And that's the logic that is really hard to kind of have when he has a gun. Because you shouldn't be using a gun in this circumstance. But people hate YouTube prankers so much now that we're getting to the stage where they could probably just get killed. And people would side with you. Whereas that wouldn't really happen before. This is what's happening now. It's like people are so sick of it. They're just like, well, fuck them. Again, like, I'm of the mind that there's too many people in this world. Like, I don't care. At the end of the day. If you're a good person, you should never need to worry about this sort of thing. Because this sort of thing would never happen to you. Because you wouldn't be putting yourself in this position. The only way you get killed as a good person is if you were essentially accidental death from a drive-by or something like those lines, where it's not your fault, it's just something wrong place, wrong time. But if you're the type of person that literally puts yourself in a position where someone can fuck you over, you deserve it a lot of the time. Because you should never be doing this in the first place. I just like people that are just scumbags. I'm sorry, but I just feel like they do deserve to get everything they deserve. And unfortunately, this guy's never going to learn his lesson because he's a YouTube prankster. Accidental death from this guy missing his shot and hit him when you're enjoying some Popeye's meal. That's how it goes.
Happened inside the mall. Coley faces 2 to 10 years in prison.
Look at him. Look at the dumb look on this guy's face. Like,
when he's sentenced. Cook.
He's coming up in his face. Duh, look at this guy. Duh. His eyes are like practically fucking crossed. Looks like he's got about sub 30 IQ. His other mate's just lapping it up, sitting on his mobile phone, backing him up.
For his part, says he plans to continue making his YouTube prank videos.
Now, you might think, oh, what would you do in that circumstance? What would I do? I would literally just walk away. I wouldn't get aggravated enough to the point where I would like, well, I wouldn't shoot or attack someone. If I attack someone, it would be like with my fists or something like that, or push them back in defense. If the guy kept chasing you and stuff like that, I'd probably just try to take his phone. But then you still have the problem of, well, now you have the guy's phone and he's going to want the phone back. So then he's going to continue chasing you. There's not really much of a win scenario here for the guy that's being assaulted. I would say the victim in this case. And that's the power that these like pranksters have, is they just get to fuck you over. And there's like next to no repercussion for it. It's such a horrible situation. It's like the wrong way it should be.
Now, prosecutors told the jury that Coley brought a gun to a cell phone fight. A lot of people have weighed in on how annoying.
That's the prosecutor's argument. This was a cell phone fight, and he cheated. He brought a gun. You can't do that. You bring a cell phone to a cell phone fight. A gun? Well, cell phones don't fire bullets yet, so that's cheating. Like, what?
That type of behavior was, but the jury seemed to side with Coley's argument about self-defense here.
That's hilarious. The jury, I've been on the jury before. The jury actually backed the guy who shot a gun in public because it was against an annoying shitbag YouTube prankster. I agree with him. Somewhat. I don't think he should have shot the guy. I think there should obviously be some punishment for like just easily pulling the trigger that quickly. Like, you should never be doing that. Like, you should have way more levels of escalation before you even really pull the gun out and then even pull the trigger for the bullet to come out. But fuck this guy, this prankster guy.
Which is normally reserved for someone who feels that they or a loved one is in very serious physical danger. So that decision by the jury yesterday certainly raised a lot of eyebrows, but then you see that video and it raises a whole new set of questions.
Yeah, there you go. So this can set a bit of a precedent as well when you think about it, because they backed him up. So I don't know this guy's going to do jail time. It depends. There's separate charges, isn't there? Like, the jury would have agreed with him in the sense of self-defense, but the fact that he shot a gun in public probably doesn't bode well for him. So I don't know what happened beyond this point. But I do know that it's quite the case for when you can actually shoot a gun in a public place and potentially have the court on your side, because everyone hates YouTubers, particularly YouTube pranksters, that much. What do you guys think about the situation? Do you think he should have got away with it? Do you think he should be in jail? It's kind of like a bit of both. I think the problem is that he never would have fired that gun if he didn't have some dumbass fucking shoving his phone in his face 5 multiple times whilst his little friend was just following around with a cheeky smirk, a shit-eating grin.